A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. International Yoga Day is being celebrated worldwide today. Prime Minister Modi is leading the celebrations from Lucknow. All the other states of the country are participating as well. That is our top focus this morning in the Breakfast News, starting with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads third International Yoga Day celebrations. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and 51,000 participants join Prime Minister Modi in performing various yogasanas in Lucknow. Yoga Day events being organized in all states of the country. Prime Minister Modi's ministers performing yogasanas across the country. Nitin Gadkari heads events in Maharashtra, Javadekar in Manipur. Amit Shah presides over celebrations in Ahmedabad. Boost for BJP as the Shiv Sena backs NDA presidential candidate Ramnath Kovind. JDU to meet in Patna today to decide stance. Opposition parties to meet on 22nd of June. GST to be officially launched on 30th of June midnight. Launch function in the Central Hall of Parliament. President, Prime Minister, Vice President, Chief Ministers and opposition leaders to be part of the event. And suspected a suicide bomber shot at a Brussels railway station. Bomber had set off a small explosion. No casualties reported. Now, as the world is celebrating the third International Yoga Day today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the biggest gathering at Lucknow's Ramabai Ambedkar Maidan, where the main event for this year was organized. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, along with other dignitaries, also participated in the celebrations. The event kick-started at around 6:40 in the morning, with Chief Minister Adityanath welcoming the Prime Minister and addressing the crowd. Now, stressing upon the importance of yoga, Yogi Adityanath said that this ancient form of exercise helps in bringing world together. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized on the fitness, wellness and that yoga is a medium to achieve wellness. Prime Minister expressed his happiness over the number of yoga institutes opened over the last 3 years and the demand for yoga teachers also increasing. Now, undeterred by the weather conditions and early morning rains, more than 55,000 people practiced various yogic postures. Meanwhile, tight security arrangements were in place. Senior Superintendent of Police and the District Magistrate monitored the arrangements. The United Nations General Assembly had made a declaration in December 2014 that every 21st of June would be observed as the International Day of Yoga. Last year, the main function was in Chandigarh. In 2015, National Yoga Day was organized in the national capital. Now, people in 150 countries and Indian missions in the Netherlands, Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, along with other countries, also celebrated the event. The United Nations will issue special stamps commemorating the International Yoga Day. The stamps will have the images of Indian sound Om and various yogic postures. And greeting the people in Lucknow, Prime Minister Narendra Modi applauded them for coming out in large numbers and participating in the event despite the rainy weather. Prime Minister said that India is leading the world with yoga and wellness. He also emphasized that yoga has evolved over the years and has become a part of every household.
योग स्वयं भी व्यक्ति से समष्टि तक की यात्रा करनी शुरू की है। एक वक्त था जब योग हिमालय में गुफाओं में ऋषियों, मुनियों, मनीषियों का ही साधना का मार्ग हुआ करता था। युग बदलते गए, सदियां बीतती गई। आज योग घर घर का, जन जन का, उसके जीवन का हिस्सा बन रहा है। लगातार बारिश के बीच भी आप सब यहां डटे हुए हैं। योग के महात्म्य को बल देने का आपका ये प्रयास अभिनंदनीय है। विश्व के अनेक देश जो न हमारी भाषा जानते हैं, न हमारी परंपरा जानते हैं, न हमारी संस्कृति से परिचित है, लेकिन योग के कारण आज पूरा विश्व भारत के साथ जुड़ने लगा है। योग जो शरीर, मन, बुद्धि को जोड़ता है, वो योग आज विश्व को अपने साथ जोड़ने में बहुत बड़ी अहम भूमिका अदा कर रहा है।
Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that yoga has become a movement and is being celebrated with fervor all across the world.
योग भारत की प्राचीन विधा है, हमारी प्राचीन ऋषि परंपरा का प्रसाद है। वेदों सहित सभी प्राचीन ग्रंथों ने योग के महत्व को स्वीकारा है और अगर कहा जाए तो योग जीवन की एक कला है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस को उत्तर प्रदेश की राजधानी लखनऊ में मुख्य समारोह के साथ संपन्न कर रहे हैं। मुझे ये बताते हुए प्रसन्नता है कि उत्तर प्रदेश के प्रत्येक जनपद में अनेक स्थानों पर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की मंशा के अनुरूप यह समारोह एक जन अभियान और जन आंदोलन का रूप लेता हुआ गांव-गांव, शहर-शहर में बड़े उत्साह के साथ मनाया जा रहा है। एक प्रकार का है, एक पर्व हो गया है।
My colleague Panchanan Mishra is joining us from Lucknow. He's tracking all those developments in Lucknow very, very closely. A very good morning, Panchanan. Now, we might not be able to get the visuals from Lucknow because of the heavy rains there, but it has really failed to deter thousands of yoga enthusiasts where Prime Minister Narendra Modi also rolled out the mat on the 3rd International Yoga Day celebrations today.
Yeah, absolutely. It was almost a different experience for the people of Lucknow who was celebrating Yoga Day with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It was continuous and heavy rain in Lucknow since morning. And Prime Minister, the schedule of Prime Minister was late almost 10 minutes due to the rain. But when he came in this Ramabai Ambedkar ground, then there was enthusiasm and everybody was keen to look at him and do yoga with him. There was a yoga session with Prime Minister. Prime Minister did yoga in amid rain, and he also given the message that yoga is very necessary for the especially for the new India, the concept, the brand he is selling, the new India. So he was keen to give a message for the youth and also for the citizens of India that yoga is very necessary, and that's why International Yoga Day is being celebrated.
Right.
And here we got the full enthusiasm amid rain in Lucknow on the occasion of International Yoga Day. Aishwarya.
Right. Panchanan, you stay with us. Let's also go across to Anu Diwan, who is joining us from the national capital. Anu, it's not just Lucknow, but Delhi also. The streets wearing a festive look, rather, with all the colorful, young and the old also rolling out colorful yoga mats.
Definitely, Aishwarya, not only the youth, I would say not only the youth at the age of 20 or 21, but I have seen here children of the age of 5 or 6 years practicing yoga, participating very enthusiastically here, and even senior citizen was so enthusiastic here to participate. They were like, I have also spoken to few people, they were like, it should be a daily practice, that not only we people are practicing yoga since long, but youth is not practicing. So this day can bring bring a thought in the minds of youth that yoga is necessary for all of us. Even Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that yoga is necessary for all of us, and even if in a day we can spend 50 to 60 minutes for yoga, we can bring not only a good health but a peaceful mind also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anu, if you could request the camera person to probably pan and show us the mood in the national capital, where, as you were saying, that it's not just the old, but everyone, right from youngsters to old, everybody is going out there and participating in the International Yoga Day today.
Definitely, Aishwarya, the yoga has already ended up. People have started moving now. So we have seen, but we will definitely share those visuals with our viewers in our next bulletin. But people have started moving up now, and there are no such people standing here because the yoga already ended up at 8 o'clock. But people came here at 6 o'clock only. The event was supposed to start at 7, but people came here and took up their places at 6. They were so keen that they all wanted a very good and very peaceful space for themselves, so that they can practice yoga with all the ministers here in Delhi and with all the senior officers and the yoga instructors here.
Absolutely, Anu. It is not the people enthusiasts, the yoga enthusiasts later, but rather the bulletin is at 8. But obviously the entire program started at 6 in the morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, thank you so much, Panchan, for joining us from Lucknow. So, yoga events is not going only to taking place in Delhi and across India, but across 180 countries in the world. And even United Nations headquarters is being lit up with the images of yoga postures. Now, Yoga Day is being celebrated in the other parts of the country as well. Heavy rains at several places failed to deter thousands of yoga enthusiasts. Now, BJP President Amit Shah performed yoga in Ahmedabad along with Yog Guru Baba Ramdev. Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani also participated in the event. In the national capital, Delhi, yoga celebrations were held in several places. In Connaught Place, the Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu and NDA's presidential nominee Ram Nath Kovind also attended the event. In Jaipur, Rajasthan, Chief Minister Vasundhara Rajya attended the yoga event with the Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu, while Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan performed yoga in Bhubaneswar. Now in Assam, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal performed yoga with Acharya Balkrishna along with hundreds of other participants as well. Well, yoga celebrations were also held in New York and London and many other countries across the world. Let's move on to some other news now. BJP's alliance partner in Maharashtra, Shiv Sena, has decided to support Kovind's candidature for the upcoming presidential polls. Now, the opposition parties will hold a meeting on 22nd of June, that is tomorrow, to select its presidential candidate. Now, they are likely to field their own candidate. Now, the JDU is also slated to meet in Patna today to decide on the party's stand on the presidential poll. Meanwhile, Ram Nath Kovind resigned from the post of governor of Bihar on Tuesday. His resignation was accepted by President Pranab Mukherjee. West Bengal Governor K. Srinath Tripathi has now been given additional charge as Bihar governor.
NDA's presidential candidate Ram Nath Kovind resigned as Bihar governor on Tuesday. His resignation has been accepted by President Pranab Mukherjee. Earlier in the day, Kovind met Home Minister Rajnath Singh, who conveyed his best wishes on the candidature. BJP announced Kovind's nomination for the president's post on Monday, a move welcomed by the Telugu Desam Party, the TRS, BJD, YSR Congress and the Lok Janshakti Party.
पवित्र विचारों वाले व्यक्ति हैं और मैं समझता हूं कि उस उच्च पद के लिए उनकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति उस स्थान पर निश्चित रूप से उस पद को सुशोभित करेगी.
The opposition, however, may not support Kovind's candidature. While Kovind's selection has left parties like the BSP and the Trinamool Congress confused, the opposition parties are likely to meet on June 22nd to elect their joint candidate.
There is no consensus that way So the parties in opposition are meeting on 22nd to decide their strategy, to decide their future course of action. As far as left parties are concerned, we have been saying contest for president has become battle of ideologies. It has become a battle for safeguarding the Indian Constitution. In such a situation, we wish the opposition parties take a common stand to face this contest.
However, BJP is unlikely to face a tough fight from the opposition. The Electoral College, which elects the president, has a total of 10,98,882 votes. BJP and its allies currently have 5,37,683 votes, marginally away from the halfway mark of 5,49,442. The opposition has 3,91,739 votes, with the rest of the 1,44,302 votes undecided. 71-year-old Kovind is likely to file his nomination papers on June 23rd. The elections will be held on July 17th and the counting of votes will take place on July 20th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now an update on a situation in Darjeeling, and a delegation of Gorkha Janmukti Morcha on Tuesday met Union Minister Kiran Rijiju and submitted a 2-point memorandum demanding a separate state of Gorkha land. The delegation also apprised Rijiju about the current situation in the hills and stressed that the centre should urgently start the process of granting a separate status to Gorkha land. An all-party meet sponsored by GJM decided on Tuesday to continue the indefinite shutdown until the security forces were withdrawn from the city. The parties also decided to withdraw from the tripartite accord on Gorkha land territorial administration. Meanwhile, normal life in the hill city remained crippled and tense as security forces patrolled the streets. All the shops except medical stores remained closed and internet services also remained suspended. Meanwhile, Union Minister S.S. Ahluwalia has called for a high-level probe into the alleged police firing in Darjeeling, in which 3 people were killed. The BJP MP from Darjeeling also demanded compensation from the state government for the victims' families. Now, a West Bengal government report has listed forthcoming elections to Hill Council and involvement of militants from the northeast as the reasons responsible for the recent violence and indefinite shutdown in Darjeeling.
Resolution movement for Gorkhaland will continue till its logical end. And the next resolution is that unanimously resolved by all the present political parties, non-political parties, unanimously decided that GTA will be scrapped by the Gorkha Janmukti Morcha as soon as possible without further waste of time.
We didn't say we are not withdrawing indefinite strike. The indefinite strike, of course, is on, but we said it is the onus of this. It is the onus of the state government to create an environment conducive to peaceful movement of people, and it is for the state government, because it is the state government that has created tension. It is for the state government to de-escalate the tension and create a peaceful environment here.
On to the other top story. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that GST will be implemented across the country from 1st of July this year. He said that the Prime Minister and the President will announce this at a function that will be held in the Central Hall of Parliament on the midnight of 30th of June. Jaitley also reiterated that GST will strengthen the economy.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said the goods and services tax regime will be launched in a 2-hour meeting of all MPs in Parliament's Central Hall on the midnight of June 30th. The meeting will be attended by President Pranab Mukherjee, Vice President Mohammad Habib Ansari, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan and former Prime Ministers Manmohan Singh and H.D. Devegowda.
सभी राजनीतिक दलों का, सभी विधानसभाओं का, राज्य सरकारों का इसमें योगदान रहा और एक सरकार से आरंभ हुआ दूसरी सरकार और तीसरी सरकार तक संशोधन गया है.
GST will be implemented in the entire country except for Jammu and Kashmir. The Finance Minister said small businesses and firms have been given enough time to prepare for the July 1st rollout, so there was no point in opposing it. He also asserted that the new reform will strengthen the country's economy.
we have for the last 6 months been saying that the date is 1st July. Nobody had any business not to be ready. Even when we have finally announced that it is 1st of July, the readiness will be determined when you have to file your first return, which is 10th August. That also we have extended it to 15th September.
After the launch of GST's rollout at Parliament's Central Hall, President Pranab Mukherjee and Prime Minister Modi will give an hour-long speech on GST. 2 short films will also be shown to all MPs and invitees. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, former Calcutta High Court Judge C.S. Karnan was on Tuesday arrested from Tamil Nadu's Coimbatore and taken to Chennai. 62-year-old Justice Karnan had been evading arrest since 9th of May after being sentenced to 6 months imprisonment for contempt of court by the Supreme Court. Now, he is the first sitting High Court judge who has been awarded a jail term by the Supreme Court. Karnan faces a 6-month jail term and he retires on 12th on June. Justice Karnan, who was transferred to Kolkata after he had triggered a controversy by raking up issues against brother judges of the Madras High Court, including the Chief Justice. On to the top international story now. Belgian troops have shot dead a suspected suicide bomber in the Brussels city centre after a small explosion at the central station. Nobody else was injured and the damage was limited, but the incident is being treated as a terrorist attack. It is noteworthy that in March last year, 32 people were killed in attacks on Brussels, which were claimed by the Islamic State group.
Belgium police and army securing the area around Brussels Central Station. This after the troops late evening shot a man suspected of being a would-be suicide bomber. He was shot after setting off a small explosion at the station. No one else was injured in the attack, which set off panic as people ran for cover. Eyewitnesses say the suspected bomber screamed Allahu Akbar before detonating a suitcase.
Moi, je suis redescendu pour rejoindre le quai, là avec un homme qui criait, et il parlait des djihadistes et tout ça, et puis à un moment donné, il a crié Allahu Akbar et il a fait exploser la petite valise qu'il avait à côté de lui, où là donc les gens ont pris la fuite, ils sont partis et tout.
Officials have confirmed that the suspect was dead, with media reports saying that he was wearing a rucksack and a bomb belt. However, the suspect has not been identified as yet, and it is not clear if he was known to authorities. Authorities are treating the incident as a terrorist attack. The Belgian Foreign Ministry said there is no indication of other incidents, but the threat level remains at 3, which warns of a possible and likely threat.
About 8:30 there has been an explosion in Central Station here in Brussels. The suspect has been shot by the military who were present at Central Station here immediately after the explosion. We do not know if he's still alive or he is dead. The investigation is still ongoing. We consider this incident as a terrorist act, and luckily there were no other victims than the suspect.
The scene of the attack, Brussels Central Station, was evacuated and closed along with 2 other stations in the Belgian capital. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel thanked security services and Belgian Rail for courage. The country's Security Council will meet this morning to address the incident. The incident comes more than a year after suicide bombers in Brussels detonated several explosions in the Brussels airport and a nearby metro station. The attack killed 31 people and wounded hundreds. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. French Defense Minister Sylvie Goulard resigned over fake job scandal that hit his Mortem party. Former member of European Parliament, Goulard said that she did not want to stay on because of an investigation overshadowing her Modem party's affairs in the European Parliament following a minor shuffle in President's government. At least 15 people were killed and over 18 were wounded in a suicide car bombing in Somalia's capital. A suicide car bomber posing as a milk delivery man detonated at district headquarters in Mogadishu. The Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab group claimed the responsibility for the attack. The blast comes less than a week after Al-Shabaab gunmen attacked in the capital, killing at least 31 people. Foreign ministers from across America failed to reach an agreement at a meeting regarding Venezuela resolution. 20 states have voted to pass a draft, falling 3 short of the 23 votes needed for passage. Various countries, including Mexico and the US, are seeking OAS members to adopt the resolution after seeking resistance from some of the socialist oil exporters' allies. Officials will further focus on wider regional issues affecting the region in the OAS General Assembly that will wind up on 21st of June. Time for some sports news, and Anil Kumble has stepped down as the coach of the Indian cricket team. Kumble said that the fallout with the captain Virat Kohli was the reason behind his decision. He claimed that their partnership had become untenable despite attempts to resolve the misunderstandings. Earlier, the BCCI decided not to renew his one-year-old contract and invited fresh applications for the post. Under Kumble's guidance, India won 10 out of the 13 home tests and 2 draws and a single defeat. India also won the ODI series against New Zealand and the limited over series against England. And India lost to the Netherlands 1-3 in the final group game of the World League semi-final in London on Tuesday. India is now in the second position in the 6-team Pool B with 3 wins from 4 outings. The Netherlands, however, have won all of their 4 games so far and are at the top. Both the teams, however, have already qualified for the quarter-finals on Thursday. India will play Malaysia in the encounter.
Here's a great chance now, Kellerman, and it's fired in through a lovely ball.
Well, that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.